Hey everyone, Gill Gross here, post-match, Novak Djokovic versus Metteo Berrettini, 2021 Roland Garros quarterfinals. If you're not here for spoilers, click off the video in 3, 2, 1. Novak Djokovic has set up meeting number 58 with Rafael Nadal in the French Open semifinals. 4-set victory over the Italian Matteo Berrettini. The big three sweep of the Italians is complete. Well, big two, really. Federer didn't even try. Let's get into this match. I thought it was a stressful match for Novak because Berrettini has such incredible weapons that sometimes he has the effect of taking the racket out of your hands. But Djokovic did a very good job taking advantage of his strengths, giving very, very little gifts. The margin of error is small for a player who serves as well as Berrettini, but Novak did a great job on his serve in the pressure moments. Very few blips. Now, there was one, and we'll get into it, but that was about it in terms of costly mistakes for Novak. He also came in with really good tactics on serve and return, along with the obvious baseline tactic of pinning Berrettini in his backhand corner. He did it effectively. But I want to start with Novak's serving strategy because he was mixing up his speeds and spins a lot, very effectively against Berrettini, and making sure to take advantage of Metteo's movement by taking some speed off the serve and dragging him off the court, knowing that while Berrettini is very skilled with the racket and is someone who is very proficient in making his returns, you can expose his court coverage if you pull him out wide. Another thing that Novak was doing was hitting the kick serve as a first serve because Berrettini was standing in no man's land. He wasn't standing far back enough as to let the ball drop down into his strike zone, and he wasn't standing far up enough as to take it on the rise before it kicks up above the strike zone. And he never adjusted his return position for the entire match, which made it especially easy for Novak to protect his second serve, which is, of course, a kick serve, which was bouncing up above Berrettini's shoulders on the backhand. He's not strong up there, and I know Berrettini is a big, strong guy, but he doesn't get a lot of juice on his high backhand, and the result is that Djokovic wins an excellent 65% of his second serve points. So credit to Djokovic for hitting that serve, going to that serve, even on the first, but also shame on Berrettini for doing the same thing for the entire match on return. That's my biggest source of frustration for Berrettini, and I went over this in depth after he lost the match in Madrid to Alexander Zverev in the Madrid final. It drives me nuts that Berrettini only returns one way, and he's not aggressive on the second serve return. And if you're not a great athlete and you don't want to play defense, he is a great athlete. I take that back. But if your athletic strengths don't reside in speed and quickness, and you want to play offense on the tennis court, you better do something with your second serve return. And this is yet another match that he does not do anything with his second serve return. So good combination there. On the other side of the coin, you have superlative second serve returning by Novak. Just incredible what he's able to do on Berrettini's second serve, which is really in the top 10 best second serves on the men's side. It is routinely in the triple digits, miles per hour, and it has a ton of nasty kick on it. And there were a couple times where Berrettini landed it short enough in the service box that he got free points, but if he didn't do that, Novak was doing an excellent job returning it and making Berrettini start the point with the backhand. And everyone on tour knows that they want to do that. That is the tactic against Berrettini. You want to start the point with a Matteo Berrettini backhand. Of course you do. It's just very few are able to execute it as well as Djokovic is able to execute it, especially on the ad side, where it really takes a good, sharp cross-court angle when Berrettini hits that wide serve, because he's going to look to run around and hit the forehand, and Djokovic can just put it on a dime. He can just put it in that spot to make Berrettini hit that second serve as a backhand. And if you look at the stats, Djokovic almost hit 0 second serves returns to the Berrettini forehand side, and at one point Tennis Channel threw up a Hawkeye graphic illustrating that. I just thought the second serve returning is incredible, and he got the payoff on the stat sheet because Berrettini protected his second serve at a 42% clip. So that's a huge difference, right? Novak wins 65% of his second serve points. Metteo wins 42% of his second serve points. With that being said, it is typical of this kind of matchup. Berrettini, big firepower, serve plus one guy, and Djokovic, the nimble baseliner, right? The quick, almost like, Ferrari baseliner. I hate to break it to Matteo Berrettini, and this is great news for Djokovic, but Djokovic also matched Berrettini, or perhaps played better than Berrettini, even in the big man tennis, the place where Berrettini is strong, the 0 through 4 shot rallies on serve, the first strike tennis. And that comes down to consistency, because if you watch the match, you know that Matteo Berrettini was electrifying on his forehand, pumping massive winners, following up his first serves. And just your heart skips a beat when Matteo Berrettini is in the middle of the court winding up for his forehand. It's amazing to watch. But Novak is actually doing the same thing. It's not as loud. It's a lot quieter. Your heart doesn't skip a beat. It might take Novak 3 shots where it only takes Berrettini 1. But the key is that Novak isn't really missing early in the rallies on his serve. And service game after service game after service game, he's always answering the bell. And Berrettini did not have a single break point after Djokovic's opening 3 service games. Never again did he get a break point. Where Berrettini, he might have an untouchable service game, untouchable service game, untouchable service game, loose service game. It only takes a couple per set. But now you look at what's the difference between Djokovic and Berrettini here. Novak's also winning all the short points on his serve. The +1 points, dictating, putting Berrettini on the run, taking advantage of his movement and his defense. Whereas Berrettini, big time firepower, forehand, hitting through Djokovic off the first serve. They're both doing it. They're both having success. But who is going, who is executing at a higher rate? And for Berrettini, a couple things happened in this match. The first thing is that you could create a montage of easy, simple shots that Berrettini missed. You could create a little montage of like oy vey moments for Berrettini. Now, Berrettini's Italian, not Jewish, so he wouldn't say oy vey. He might say mamma mia. I don't know. But you get the point. Easy shots that he just didn't execute, generally around the net. And I think Berrettini's hands are pretty good. I think they are. So I don't know what happened here. Bad day in the office. Yep. Novak's speed. Sure. The moment. Quarterfinal. Maybe. But I don't know. Because I don't think they, any of these things. But the point is, a lot of shots that he needs to execute that he didn't. How about this? 9 drop shot errors in 27 attempts by Berrettini. So that does not count the points that Djokovic returned the drop shot and won the point. Doesn't count that. I'm just saying 9 times, Berrettini didn't even make Novak play the drop shot. He missed 9 of them. And remember, when you're attempting a drop shot, you're in a winning position. That's a really bad number. That's way too many. And it's too high a rate. 9 of 27, so almost 1 in 3 drop shots you don't even make in the court. Very bad. And let's take a look at the 4th set, the game at 5-6. 15-love, Berrettini makes a serve, first ball, backhand drop shot, nowhere near making it over the net. 15-all, first serve, forehand unforced error, first ball. Deuce, first serve, first ball, forehand, miss badly to give Novak a break point. Berrettini actually saved that break point. But then later on, Berrettini misses some first serves, and Novak breaks to win the set. some slice errors in that game too. Novak did a good job getting it to the backhand. So it was a good microcosm of the match, that last game. But the point I'm trying to make is that oftentimes Berrettini would make those early errors, and Novak never. Didn't happen. So let me give you the numbers here. We'll go to rally analysis, and you see on Djokovic's serve, you don't see, but I'll tell you. Djokovic made 7 unforced errors on rallies 0 through 4 shots on his own serve. 7. Let's see Berrettini. He made 19 unforced errors on the first 4 shots, only counting on his serve, where it's a little bit more important. And you have those attackable balls. That's the presumption, that off your serve, you have the attackable balls. How often are you misfiring? And what Berrettini has in firepower, Djokovic has in consistency. So even where Berrettini wants to have an advantage, he didn't really in the grand scheme of this match. However, here's what happened in the third set where Novak lost. First of all, I want to give Berrettini some credit and some props. I've been a little bit hard on him. He made a really good adjustment by going inside in on the forehand right away. No more wasting time with the inside-out forehand. Djokovic's backhand defense is too good. He hits it cross-court too well that Berrettini suddenly loses his backhand and has to hit loses his forehand and has to hit a backhand on the next ball. That's no good. You never want that, right? So instead, Berrettini, where normally he might go inside out a couple times to try to get the player, off the court and get an easier ball, and then go inside in the third set and in the fourth set, because Berrettini realized this was the move. No more messing with Djokovic's backhand defense. As soon as you get the opportunity to attack, inside in right away on that first ball. And I think Novak's defense is a little bit worse to that side anyway. But even if it's not, it's the easier finishing shot. And Djokovic is more likely to defend cross court, so Berrettini gets another forehand instead of having to hit a backhand. So great adjustment by Berrettini there. It was key. And in the third set, Metteo has the crowd behind him, and he's absolutely smoking these forehands, just obliterating them. I think the average speed was 85 miles per hour, maybe 86 or something like that, really high. But Novak still has a chance in this set, and he goes up. There's a couple of mistakes by Berrettini. Bad drop shot in that tiebreak. That's a common theme. But Novak from 4-5 actually misses 2 first balls. It's the antithesis of the point that I just illustrated, that Djokovic was flawless on the first couple shots and was never missing. He was flawless because 2 of the 7 unforced errors came here. He was flawless except those 2, that botch in the tiebreak, where I just couldn't believe it. I could not believe that Novak missed those 2 balls at the end of the tiebreak, but he did. And if I go back to the tiebreak in the third set, Djokovic at 5-4 and 5-all missed first ball, 1 on the forehand, 1 on the backhand, and then Berrettini, massive serve +1 at 6-5, and that was the third set. So that's why Novak dropped the third set. I think I've covered everything here. I guess I'll cover the celebration for Djokovic that was just making waves all over social media, with Djokovic getting really fired up and really emotional. Here's my theory on why Djokovic vocalized so much after the match. I think Novak was absolutely furious about those 2 misses in the third set, and I just thought he thought he should have been off the court. Berrettini is a scary and frustrating opponent, again, because sometimes you just don't have a chance with his forehand and how dynamic it is. But I think Novak, the entire fourth set, was thinking about, how did I miss those 2 balls in the third set tiebreak? Especially, maybe he was even thinking, even in the what's it called, Musetti tiebreaks 2 rounds ago, I didn't come up big. So very uncharacteristic of Novak, but a couple of bad tiebreaks here. 3 tiebreak losses in a row, if not more, just 3 in my memory. So that's maybe something to watch out for. But programming notes here, very important. Preview will come out tomorrow, and I will reiterate this, I plan on going live after the semifinals on Friday. I will go live for the first time assuming that all the technical things are in order. That is my plan. So make sure to check out the channel after the second semifinal concludes on Friday. Hope you enjoyed. Don't forget to subscribe. I'll see you next time.